like to welcome in Orlando, Florida, criminal defense attorney Mark O'Mara. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Let's talk a little bit about logistics in this case. Are you surprised that this federal case, and again, violation of the civil rights of George Floyd, not criminal charges, is happening for these three defendants, co-defendants, prior to the state criminal charges against these three same individuals?
It is quite unique. You would think that they would do the state charges first and then see what happens there, because often in these cases, the federal civil rights violation or hate crime, whatever it might be, that's almost a safeguard in case they do not get the conviction at the state level. So it's a little bit backwards, but I will tell you the main reason why it happened is federal judges run their docket the way they want to run it, and they're not going to necessarily sit and wait around for the state to finish their case. And the speedy trial rules, where you can continue a case, are much more strict in the federal system. So it may literally be administrative that led to this case going first.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I always say the feds don't play. What I mean by that is, you and I both know, Mark, that federal courts are a little more formal, a little more regimented, in my opinion. And I've had to go to trial in a federal court when we all agreed maybe we needed a little more time, but the judge said, no, you're going forward, and we had to be prepared to go forward. That's just the way that it is. Mark, let's talk a little bit about these defendants and really what the jury is going to be faced with, because clearly evidence is being presented, as Julia just reported, about the chain of command, about the training, about the procedures that law enforcement's expected to follow, and saying Derek Chauvin had that responsibility and I followed all of my training policy procedures. Is that enough? Is that going to cause this jury to consider acquitting the three defendants?
I think it's going to be a very difficult road for the jury to get to convictions, and there's different reasons for different defendants, but we know Lane is going to walk in and say, look, through his attorney and through his testimony, I tried to do what I thought was right, and Chauvin didn't listen to me. So that's sort of, I tried and I did what I could. Of course, he has the testimony of paramilitary organization, you got to listen to your chain of command, etc. So he's in a sort of good position. And then the other officers are going to say, look, I'm brand new at this. So if there was a lack of training, and I'm telling you there was, don't hold me responsible, because this intervention, you have to intervene question, I didn't fully know about it. 4 days on the job or whatever. So I see that is all going to be presented to the jury, and the jury has to say, you know, beyond a reasonable doubt, intentionally denied giving medical care when they knew they should. Very difficult standard for the federal prosecutors, in my opinion.
Does it make a difference that you have the video from the bystanders? We listened to it a little bit ago. When you have two bystanders saying, check his pulse, he's not breathing, does that make a difference in terms of they should have known they had that duty to intervene because people were telling them they needed to intervene?
And you just said it. They should have known, because if untrained individuals, people on the street, know what's going on and tell you there's a medical crisis here, how dare you not know? How dare you not react? So we know, we're going to hear that from the prosecutors, that when the general public is telling you there's a problem here, and you're the one with the training to intervene and the obligation to intervene, it is on your shoulders. Do not put it on your training officer's shoulders. Don't blame Chauvin. You're on the street with a gun. You're a cop. You have a badge. You have to do what your training tells you have to do, and you fail to give medical care.
And it's hard because you think, okay, here's the training, and then here's common sense when you see a video like that. So this jury, I know, is going to have a lot before them, and you're going to stay with us, Mark, because after the break, we're going to get a live report out of Florida from the trial that we've been covering all week, the movie Popcorn Murder Trial. This is Court TV Live.